This game is being played with the Steamroller 2015 Incursion scenario. The scenario does not have the Killbox artifice. It consists of 3 flags. Each flag can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 1 CP. Victory conditions consist of 5 control points or caster assassination.
Evening folks, Fort here. I'm playing Captain Jeremiah Kraye, one of the coolest looking casters in the game. In a list that was kind of inspired by a post that was made a while back online. It's got Stormwall, a Dynamo, a Sentinel, a unit of Rangers, Ayana and Holt, Iris 2, Gaston, a Journeyman, and 3 Stormsmith Stormcallers. I've modified the list a little bit. I like Gaston, I wanted to play around with him, and I really like Ayana and Holt. And we'll see how it plays out against this massive pile of infantry.
Alright, Pokey here. After talking to Dowdark, we talked about putting Vlad up with the Steam and Steel tier list, mostly because it has Man-O-War, and they're slow, but they are very hard-hitting. It's a very interesting tier, and I hope you enjoy watching the game as much as I had playing it.
We both have pre-deploy with these 2 Colossals. I'm going to put mine in a position where I can avoid that linear obstacle that's between the 2 topmost flags. And then I'm going to spread my Jacks and Kraye toward the top of the board with Ayana and Holt in position to move forward and hopefully take a little bit of advantage of the difficult ground in that forest and a little bit of the cover, I guess. Stormsmith Stormcallers are going to spread out to do what they can. They can't disrupt the big guy, but they can maybe disrupt Drago. I'm going to put Gaston up on the top too. He's going to head for the hill. Journeyman, his job is just to keep Arcane Shield on, whatever.
For deployment, my pre-deployment, I ended up putting the Conquest in the center. He's not very fast. I wanted to make sure that he was going to be in the middle of the table. And with Fort putting up his Stormwall in the middle, I figured best place to put a Conquest is right up against that, Battle of Colossals type of thing. For the rest of the force, I put Vlad central because I was hoping to get him up behind one of those walls to give him some good protection from shooting. And then putting up the infantry to where they're evenly spaced on the flanks.
With my AD, I'm going to spread the Rangers across the middle of the board to help out. I'm going to put Iris on the very top here and try to use her to sneak around the backside of his army. Maybe I can get her into the rear of that Colossal and keep him from getting focus. Can't disrupt him, but he can keep him from getting focus.
I figured the Shocktroopers would be a good AD unit, with Shield Wall being slow. They'd be able to get the field pretty quick. And of course the Kovnik, well, I want him to go try to collect that flag.
Well, I allocate 1 each of my Jacks so they can run. I move the Rangers up to take advantage of the forest and the cover of the wall. Then the Stormwall runs up behind them. Dynamo is going to run up to try to get advantage, to get cover from that wall. He runs his full 10. The Sentinel is going to go over there to kind of protect Gaston and Kraye. Kraye's going to go hop on the hill to make himself a little harder to hit and to get within shield guard range of the Sentinel. Gaston casts his moving shadow spell that gives him gun and run, or run and gun, I'm not sure exactly which one it is, and hides behind the Stormwall. I'm not sure what I want to do with Ayana and Holt. I'm going to abandon the forest idea and move them up to the north, and I'm just going to try to dominate the top side of the field with fire. He's got a lot of heavy hitters down south, so I'm going to pass the turn to him now and see what he does.
Khador, turn 1. With the tier bonus, my Jacks end up getting +2 movement during their +2 speed. During their first turn of activation. So right now, it's trying to figure out the best allocation of focus. So I end up dropping 2 on Conquest and letting Vlad sit on the rest. And then start with the Shocktroopers. They advance forward, go into Shield Wall, Armor 21 against most of the weaponry there. Should be okay. And then the rest of the infantry ends up advancing, running the Drakhun, he ends up running fast enough to get up against the flag. My hope is that he can hold that flag, contest it. Having pound 10s put against him for the most part, he should be able to survive most of that. So now that I'm activating Vlad, he ends up casting a sail on Drago, which gives it an additional plus 2 inches of movement. He then advances up to get to gain cover behind the wall, and then he casts Wind Blast, mostly so that way anything that moves in there that shoots me from there will be at -3 rat. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And then Drago activates and he charges the Drakhun. I knew he didn't have enough space, so figured it would be okay. Give out the field a little further, and then now the Conquest. Even though the wreck marker's on the field, his fists were in the way and hitting the demo core and Vlad in the back of the head. So the wreck marker is actually showing where he's at, and now he is doing his the barrage blast, which allows him to put out those little clouds, those little markers for anybody that enters.
Well, my opponent has moved forward fairly aggressively. His Colossal, as I predicted, wasn't able to get over that wall and do anything, so he stopped behind the wall and laid out a bunch of covering fire templates and took a few shots. Didn't do much. I'm going to go contest this bottom flag with one of the Rangers. The other Ranger's going to move in to give me bonuses to hit the center of his army here, and the rest of them are just going to run and get into position for next turn in the woods there. Hopefully not too many of them die. Stormcaller here, I moved him over here to try to get a shot on Drago to disrupt him, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. All I have to do is hit him. I don't have to, or all I have to do is make a skill check. I don't have to do anything else. Ayana and Holt are going to move up. I thought Ayana was range 8 for some reason, so I moved her a little too closer than I should have. But she got the shot off and kissed the unit of Man-O-Wars that are in the middle of the map there. It's going to make them easier to kill. They're in shield wall, or they have battle, or they have something that gives them a bonus to armor. I'm not sure what it's called. Kraye's not going to go. He actually activated 2 to each of his jacks after pulling 1 off of the Squire. So I left him with 3. He moved up and cast guided fire and then took a shot. Didn't do much. Backed up to his hill fortress there. Now Dynamo's going to go. He's going to do a ride by. He's not going to have enough to get back over the wall, but why not take advantage of it if I can? He's going to shoot this one guy in the center there, trying to get rid of that base-to-base armor bonus that he has for whenever I move the rest of my models up to shoot at him. He rolls kind of low damage on the first couple of shots, but the third shot I boost the damage and roll a huge number and whack him. Now I'm reset back. The damage goes back to the minimum, and he hits and does a little bit of damage. He ride-bys to get, or he finishes his ride-by to get in front of a Holt and a Yana there. Stormwall's going to move forward a little bit, split the 2 big dudes to put a big gun on each one of them. He raced to kill them with those tokens that I have to boost the damage. However, I miss one of them with one of my big guns. So now I'm checking to see if my little spin-up guns are in range of any of his guys. And the ones on my left side are, but the ones on my right side only have that one target. So they're going to shoot that guy up enough to whack him. I think he took the wrong model off there. I was shooting at the other guy. My other guns, I'm going to shoot the guy that's behind the last model in that unit of that's kissed with my big gun, boost the damage and kill him. Then I'm going to drop a pod behind him and try to hurt him with the lightning, but it doesn't do anything. Power 4, I roll a 4. The Stormcallers are going to try to take him out by triangulating on him and the Drakhun there. And they do a little bit of damage to the Drakhun. I rolled a 10, I believe. It did something to him. Now the Sentinel, this is a mistake here, I think, with the Sentinel. I moved him a little too far forward. He didn't have to go that far. But I wanted to be able to get him back where he could do a light cab move to get back and shield guard a lot of my models. And I don't think he got close enough to Yana and Holt to be able to shield guard them, but he can shield guard Kraye. Iris ran this turn. She's way at the top of the map there. You can barely see her just north of that northern patch of woods on his side of the table. My plan is to run her around behind him next turn, behind that Colossal, and keep him from allocating focus. Doesn't disrupt, it just no focus can be allocated, which is the plan at least. Gaston is now moving up. He hit and boosted the damage roll on one of the guys, so he's going to get to trigger his gun and run and get back to safety. I'm going to swap the Arcane Shield over to the Dynamo, who is in peril as I couldn't get him behind the wall.
Turn 2. Oh my goodness. Could I have taken any more shots than that? Lucky for me, I still have the Shocktrooper there. I have the my one demo core is really reduced in strength, and now it's a matter of what next. So for this turn, I'm going to upkeep a sail. I do believe Drago has been disrupted. Not that it matters much because, well, Drago gets the charge for free anyways. And with being with Vlad, it just allows him to do a lot of bad things to people because he's crazy. So now it's trying to figure out the rest of the activation, and it looks like I'm going to end up giving 2 more to the Conquest and sit on the rest. Looks like maybe this turn is going to be a good turn for me to put Hand of Fate up. So I start with Drago. He ends up advancing. Unfortunately, a sail does not give him Pathfinder. Kind of wish it did, but it does not. It just gives him the +2 movement when charging. So he went ahead and just advanced to kill the one Ranger. Still getting him in the general direction I need him to be. Because I couldn't give him any focus. I couldn't give him the imprint to have him advance another inch forward. That's okay. The Man-O-War ended up running to hopefully lock down both of the Rangers there. You know, even though he's by himself, you know, hopefully he's going to be a good speed bump because, well, he's the only guy left out of a 3-man unit. Not much left to him. Not much left for him to do except for try to hold some people up. And I'm sorry, he's actually the Shocktrooper, the demo core, the guys with the big hammers. Been calling it wrong so far all game. So then the other, then the Kovnik comes up. He ends up charging the what's the guy's name? Little Stormcaller guy. Fails to kill him, which would have been a shame. Because being turn 2, at the end of my turn, if I could have killed that guy, I would have actually scored a point, which would have been nice. The other demo core ended up running up. Those guys ended up taking the charge order, so they could kill the pod and get a little bit further up the table. I didn't really plan on them to get into really any hardcore action just yet. So, you know, the little bits that they can do right now is helping out. The one nice thing is with the Drakhun down there, I could take the Drakhun out and try to kill off a couple more of those Rangers, but right now, I can actually score a point down there. So that's actually a big plus for me. And of course, not that you could see her up at the top there, or maybe you can just barely see the base of her. That's actually Eris up there, and she's going to be a major pain in my butt. But I'm hoping that with her inability to disrupt Warjacks, or I mean not Warjacks, but her inability to disrupt Colossals will help. So now we go with Conquest. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Vlad went. He put down another. What was the name of that spell? He put down the -3 defense spell. The Wind Blast. And then the Conquest stood still, gaining aim bonus. I do believe I put Hand of Fate up on it, so I get the additional die, discard the lowest in each roll. And as you can see right there, we had to call Solus over because we weren't exactly sure as to where the drift went when I missed Dynamo. So he is trying to very carefully measure as to who all gets hit by the 4-inch AoE off of Conquest's main gun. And I got lucky, and I was able to get both Iana and Holt, the Stormwall, and the Stormcaller back there. You can kind of see Ford over there trying to work out the directions and everything. So we went with, as the third party had viewed it. So we, yep, there he goes, measuring it out, trying to check it out, and then of course the Conquest ends up filling out his barrage guns again, mostly just to hopefully deter him from advancing too far up that side.
Well, I gave up a control point down south, but didn't give up anywhere else. I'm going to try to take back the control point up north and contest the bottom flag with enough stuff that he's going to have a tough time getting rid of all of it. Hopefully they don't fail command checks or anything. The Ranger's going to go down there. Iris is going to move up behind his Colossal to keep him under control now. He's not going to be able to allocate focus to him. After that, I'm going to remember that I didn't allocate focus, and my opponent's going to graciously let me go back and do so. I'm going to give out most of my focus this turn. I'm going to put 3 on each, taking 1 from the Squire, leaving Kraye with 1. I'm not going to do any kind of spell casting with Kraye. He's just going to move up and do what he can. The Stormwall's plan is to move up and do melee on those 2 Man-O-Wars that are going to be within his reach, and then drop a lightning pod on the other side of Drago, and hopefully disrupt him and boost the damage with that 1 remaining focus, and hopefully disrupt him. I'm trying to see if I think I can get 2 guys at once, and I think I can. Yeah, I'll get 2 that way. So here goes. The first one is a low roll, but the next one we're going to boost the damage to try to stick something on Drago, and we do. So he gets disrupted. So the Stormwall is going to have a little bit of help there, not being murderized by Drago at least. Now I'm measuring to see what is contesting that flag up north, and 2 of his models are. The third one is not. So with that in mind, Dynamo is going to use his 3 focus to charge that one that's at the very far north, engaging my Stormsmith Stormcaller. I wanted to try to position him so that he can get reach to the other one, and whenever I moved it over there, I had to turn to face, and he was left not with that 1 Man-O-War not in his front arc, so I wasn't able to buy any more attacks. I wasted 2 focus. So Gaston moves up and does some shooting, but his damage rolls are kind of poor, so he doesn't do anything. Got to figure out a plan now. I get 6 shots with the Sentinel, so he's going to do some shooting and see what he can do. He rolls a whole bunch of dice and gets a couple of big damage rolls and a whole bunch of little damage rolls. It was enough to kill one of those guys off. Now I've got to do a light cav move. I'm not sure where I want him to go, but I'll put him there where he can soak up a few shield guard shots. He has a spell that'll get that Jack his colossal over the wall without needing to give him focus to run or trample or something. So that's kind of worrisome. Kraye moves up and does some shooting and finishes off that last Man-O-War. And now I move my Rangers down around south and pass a turn.
Alright, turn 3. Now that his storm wall is up there, and Eris has ran to be within 5 inches of my Conquest, I cannot allocate him any focus. And once again, Drago has been disrupted. Damn that disruption. But he still gets his 2 attacks plus his chain attack, which allows him to take 1 more attack against everybody that's in his control. It's in his melee. So he ended up getting 3 attacks on the storm wall. So that was a good thing. Fort was able to take out the Man-O-War Kovnik that was holding the top flag for me, so it allowed him to score a point. And he kind of flooded my area with those pesky little Rangers. So now the Kovnik, the Drakhun, has some work to do. He's going to attempt to take them guys out. I want to say they just fleed, so that's a good thing for me. Took Vlad, and he ended up popping his feet. I rolled very high. For those that don't know, his feat is D3 plus 3 models. Get to non-character warrior models. Actually get to become gods on the tabletop. Plus 3 to a lot of things. So with that, he charged the storm pod to get him further over across the table. Swung, killed it. He ended up moving Hand of Fate over to the demo core, hoping that the demo core will be able to get some work done. I also, before I moved, I put a sail up on the Conquest, or that's what we're saying I did. Fort was very nice and allowed me to say that's what I had done. So now everybody's charging in on the storm wall. That can charge in the storm wall anyways. And then I do believe the one demo core ends up running, or yeah, I think he ran. Maybe he charged. I don't know. I can't remember right now. But with Hand of Fate up and being under Vlad's feet, this is going to make for a really messy turn. So a lot of people end up, there's a lot of attacks and a lot of damage is being done. Those demo core being basically POW 17 right now with under the feet, and basically needing Snake Eyes to miss. But what's nice with Hand of Fate, getting to roll the additional die. So yeah, so there's a lot of rolling going on, and now let's see. Yeah, running that one guy over there, and the Conquest with a sail up is now basically speed 6. So he charged over. He swung. See, the nice thing is, like I said, with the sail they get the charge for free, and they get +2 movement. So there was a lot of damage done to his storm wall.
Well, I forgot about a seal, the spell that lets him charge for free and gives him 2 extra inches of movement. So his Conquest was able to get up to the storm wall, and they beat the heck out of it. I forgot how hard those Man-O-Wars actually hit. Thank God that Drago was disrupted and not able to do anything special. My opponent was also able to get a Man-O-War within 4 inches of the northern flag, so I didn't get any control points that turn. My 2 Rangers down south held fast, and they were able to keep him from getting any control points. So now I'm looking at, I'm going to try to clear out the top while I'm going to beat up the Conquest again. I don't want to kill him because there's a lot of other threats out there too. I mean, I'd love to kill him, but I need to beat up the stuff that's on the top side of that colossal clump in the middle of the board there. I want to keep him from being able to get up to my flag easily to contest it or control it or whatever. Yes, I am laying claim to that northernmost flag. It is mine. So with that in mind, I passed out 6 focus again, took all the focus off of the Squire. The Squire is now just going to become a contesting, controlling solo. And Kraye put 3 on each of the Jacks to let them do their thing. I think I even put 1 on the little Jack, the Sentinel, to let it do something. Stormwall's going to town. He missed one of his attacks with Snake Eyes, but overall he's putting a hurting on the Conquest. Dynamo also put a hurting on the Conquest. So I feel like that I'm okay. Stormwall lost a lot of hit boxes. He's down to very few hit points, but he didn't lose any systems. So I was really lucky there. Now Gaston went and shot a few things up. Kraye's going to move up to that flag there and get away from the big scrum in the middle so he doesn't get blown up or killed or whatever. The Ranger that's not engaged moves away, still engaged, still contesting the flag. Junior's going to take a shot at something and boost the damage, doesn't do anything. I'm going to leave the Arcane Shield on the storm wall. He's got another turn of having to try to kill me before, or having to put some heavy hits into me before I fall over, so that +3 armor is going to help. Irish is going to move up and deny him 1 more turn of no focus on the storm wall. His go.
Alright, turn 4. This has been a very long game. Picking up, doing all the maintenance stuff, all the happy stuff at the beginning of turn. Once again, Eris is within 5 inches, so no focus for him. So instead, I think I upkeep Hand of Fate, I keep up a sail, I put a few on Drago, and then I have Vlad charge the Ranger that advanced up. I guess he didn't flee. I was able to kill him, and then I walked the Drakhun over to kill off. So I'll give him my next set, my next point. So now the Conquest activates. He turns. There was a lot of damage done to the Conquest. He's actually missing almost one whole half of his body. So with his bad fist, he really can't do much of anything. Good fist, he ends up swinging, I believe, on the little light jack that's next to him. The demo core end up activating with Hand of Fate up. They swing some more on the storm wall. Unfortunately, storm wall is taken out of the game, so that works out nicely. So now Drago goes to activate. No, he doesn't. Maybe he does. No, the rest of the demo core activate. The one that walked over to the side. Hoping to put some damage on either the light jack or what that new heavy jack is. And this is where I kind of kick myself because I probably should have put a sail up on Drago instead of upkeeping it. So he decides to charge the Squire. and he put his imprint up, so it allowed him to advance an inch after killing a model, and that's in turn.
Well, lost the storm wall. I kind of thought it was going to happen, but those Man-O-Wars just hit so freaking hard. My plan this turn is to kill as much of the Man-O-War stuff that's in the middle of the board there as possible. Disrupt Drago and keep the Colossal, keep the Conquest from getting any focus. And hopefully that'll buy me enough time to get my 2 control points, one this turn and one next turn, that'll give me the win. And my opponent was unable to contest the northernmost flag on his turn, so it put me to 3. So I'm jumped ahead of him now. So with that in mind, the Sentinel's going to get some focus, and the Dynamo is going to get 3. I move the Stormsmith Stormcaller over to shoot Drago, and he fails his skill check. So I've got Iris left to try to disrupt him, I guess. It might be a better move just to run her around and get her within 5 of both of his jacks to try to buy me that 1 turn, but we'll see. The Sentinel boost the damage roll, doesn't do anything. Gaston moves over and shoots one of the Man-O-Wars, boosting the damage on both shots, and doesn't kill it. So now I'm looking at, I guess Dynamo is going to have to kill that last Man-O-War that's on the northern side of the Conquest. You can't really see him; he's kind of hidden by the Conquest. I wanted to put all 4 of Dynamo's attacks into the Conquest, but I'm not going to be able to do that now. So now the damage gets reset on his that boosted damage, that damage thing that Dynamo does, but he still does a lot of damage. He's going to get his final punch on that storm wall, or like on that Conquest, is going to be +3 damage essentially. Wasn't enough to take it out, but it's severely crippled. It's in a lot of trouble. I think it's got like 4 boxes left, something like that. Not very many. Now I have to decide what I'm going to do. I should have just ran Iris around to make the sure thing, but no, I'm going to take this shot at Drago and miss with Snake Eyes. So now he's got a jack that's not going to be disrupted. I have to figure out what I'm going to do. I cannot let him get up there and contest that flag up north. And that's the only thing that can get up there and do anything and contest it. So we're going to go put Arcane Shield on the on Dynamo. I changed my mind about parking the Journeyman really far back. I think he's going to have a tough time getting to multiple stuff with Drago. So I'm going to park him right in his way.
Alright, turn 5. Oh, it's coming down to the nitty-gritty. I have to do something to contest his flag, and he has done a great job of building up a nice little wall there. So, with that, I have to do something. So, my overall plan is to hopefully clear the center flag. And if I can clear the center flag, and if I can hold the center flag and this other flag, we'll both be at 5 at the same time, and I should be able to pull this off in a turn-by-turn victory, because I still have both Drago and the Conquest. Even though the Conquest is severely damaged, he is still functional, at least always on one half of his body. So let's start with the thorn in my side, and I will take the Drakhun 2 charge Eris. Comes in, charges her, hits her, and I just want to roll the damage out. I knew I killed her just off of almost anything I rolled, but I really, really, really just wanted to roll the damage on her because she really did not make me happy. Okay, so he's done. Vlad moves up and over the wall to, not over the wall, but over the flag to get a little closer to keep everybody in check. Drago then activates. And this is where things get kind of weird, because I had tried, if you can tell, I ended up nudging things, not paying attention to where his model was, and so when I did the advance after killing the model, I didn't get quite close enough to swing, to continue swinging on to, what's his name? The heavy jack there. And so now the demo core comes in, And you know, my overall hope is to just swing and kill his jack, because I don't think the light jack is within 4 inches of the flag. So if I could, if the dice will hopefully be with me on this, I can hopefully take out the one jack. Now we're trying to figure out where the spacing was, and this is kind of an irrelevant part. This was just kind of where we were talking about spacing and whatnot. But he gets his final points. Alright, as an afterthought on this game, I had a blast playing it. Even towards the very end, where that whole kind of, you know, maybe it was moved, maybe it wasn't. Was I in? Was I, you know, it kind of, that portion right there just means that, you know, the whole part with Drago where he charged means that you have to pay a little bit closer attention to how you make your moves. You know, what my intent, you know, and I didn't declare my intent. You know, I just said I'm charging this guy. And Fort was being helpful, helping me move the guy. And so, you know, it was a little bit of miscommunication and lack of saying my intent is this. But other than that, it was a great game. I had a blast playing it. The Man-O-War were a blast to play. I think Dow Dark is to blame for this game, mostly because this was his list that he thought would be fun to play, and he was absolutely correct. It was a fun list. So hopefully you all had fun watching it, as I had playing it, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks.